7:25 now on your Monday morning. Welcome back to you. We all have our own preferred method of doing our taxes, of course, but is one way better than another?
Sabrina Rodriguez set out to figure out who gets the biggest refund and exactly how they did it. She gives us a better idea how she went about doing it.
Yeah, it's all about saving money, right, guys? So when we approached the story, we couldn't just pick one person, so we had to find a single filer and a joint filer, and then we chose 3 different methods. Here's what we found. When it comes to doing your taxes,
money coming back is always a good thing.
But these days, there are all sorts of ways to do it. Do-it-yourself software like TurboTax.
Guaranteed.
A retail tax agency like H&R Block with an agent like Michael Hayes.
Each of our tax professionals have to go through 69 plus hours of initial training.
And then there are personal enrolled agents like Owen Arnoff.
I happen to be licensed by the IRS.
All are fine for filing, but does one work better than the other? We took the tax info from a single filer and a joint filer and put it to all 3 methods. For our experiment, we turned to 2 Fox 40 employees. First is Jessica, a single filer. She's a producer, 25, makes between $20,000 and $40,000 a year, has $30,000 in student loans, and paid $2,500 in interest. Next is our joint filer, Karen. She works in sales, is a 30-year-old married mother of 3. Her combined household income is $50,000 to $80,000, and there are no student loans. As for how they do their taxes,
I normally go with TurboTax.
It's the same for Jessica. But when you do it yourself, there are doubts.
Wondered if I was doing it right on TurboTax and thought maybe like, oh, if I went to a professional, maybe they would give me more.
I have totally thought that, wondering if they know the tax code better, also easier. You know, less of my time, somebody going through each of those check marks.
And stay with us at 7:40. We're going to reveal the results of what happened when we put all 3 to the test, and there are a few surprises there. Stay with us, guys.
You know that feeling when your tax advisor says, yeah, you're going to get a nice refund.
I love that feeling.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it. Hopefully you'll feel it as well. Well, it's been a year since 2 Sikh men were gunned down in broad daylight.
Welcome back to Fox 40 Live, 7:46 now on your Monday morning. Earlier in our newscast, Sabrina Rodriguez set out to find which tax filing method works better for a single filer and for a joint filer.
And she's here now with the results. Sabrina, you told us they were surprising. Let's have it.
All right, yes, they were very surprising, and it turns out that your filing status really does determine what method you should use. Once again, here are All right, it looks like we were having some audio issues with the story, but I have to say, I mean, when it came down to it, when we had our single filer and our joint filer, well, for our single filer, all 3 methods turned out to be exactly the same. And as for our joint filer, well, it looks like the enrolled agent is the one who got the better deal and got the higher refund. However, before you get too excited, we also have to talk about cost. Now, when it comes back to the actual difference between TurboTax and H&R Block, well, here's what we got. Once again, here are 2 filers and the 3 methods: TurboTax, H&R Block, and a personal enrolled agent. As for the results, we'll start with our single filer. For federal and state, all 3 were exactly the same. Our enrolled agent, Owen Arnoff, explains why.
The tax law is the tax law, and if it's done correctly, it should come out exactly the same. As a single person, you're somewhat limited as to the kinds of deductions you can take.
Jessica's reaction?
I was kind of hoping that one would be more than the other ones, but I only have really 2 things to enter: my W-2 and my student loan interest.
As for our joint filer, that's where the results get interesting.
Yeah, you did a lot better.
Owen found deductions Karen didn't know about, which she then applied to TurboTax and H&R.
You have so much to just gather, and I feel with TurboTax I might be trying to reach some of those deductions and credits, but they might also be red flags, and I don't know if I'm doing it 100% correctly.
But before you get excited, we have to talk about cost. For TurboTax Federal, a 1040 Easy is free. Basic is $29.95, and you have to do it yourself. As for H&R Block, their 1040 Easy is also free, and their basic is $19.95. Even better, it's not costing your time.
If you want to get to a dinner, you can actually drop off your information here at our office, and then we can take care of it and give you a call when it's ready to be picked up.
Another benefit?
Not all the questions can be asked if you're sitting there talking to the box. However, if you're inside the block, you're going to answer every question that you have.
As for our enrolled agent, while he did get a bigger refund, he costs a bit more. For Jessica, he charged $155. Karen was $250. So who should see Owen?
People who have a little bit more complicated situation, itemized deductions, they own a home, they have property taxes that they pay, maybe they have other sources of income like rents and royalties, or they have their own business.
So what are our filers going to do in the future?
I will stick with TurboTax until something changes, like if I buy a house.
I trust more what he's doing than what I'm doing on the computer. And it has rewarded monetarily as well.
It has. So I have to emphasize that everyone's filing situation is very different. So if you happen to go out and maybe try all three, it could very well be very different for you. So take the information, use it as you will. But still, very interesting results. This is a story that I've been trying to do for about 2 years, and I'm so glad that I did it because I really honestly wasn't expecting the results that we got. I was very surprised that as a single filer, doesn't matter what I do. So.
Oh, well, it matters, Sabrina. And what I found to be interesting, it actually cost less at H&R Block than getting TurboTax, $29.95 versus $19.95. So that seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. So everyone, I mean, it's just, again, something to think about, some food for thought. And also, filing date, April 17th this year.
All right. Thanks, Sabrina. You know, it's so intimidating, too. I'm a 40-year-old man, and I sit there doing my taxes. I've been doing my taxes for forever, and you sit there with all this paperwork, and it's so intimidating trying to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even try to do it by myself because I just I feel like I'm going to get it wrong.
Yeah, if you make the mistake, buddy, you make the mistake. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at what's going on with our weather today, Darren. We enjoyed a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, but didn't you guys hear? Sabrina just said we don't have to worry about that till April 17th. We got 2 extra days. I'm not even going to think about it for a while.
Until the 15th.
Of course. Maybe not, most likely the 16th. Why be early? Let's check our view outside, guys. We're looking out over Capitol Park.